Welcome back, everybody, to Zlatan's Fight Picks. Today is the recap for Yusoff versus Barboza. It is Wednesday today. All right, so we won't go in any particular order. What we will do is we'll just go over the board, which is where we really want to focus on because that's where the money is, right? All right, we'll go from most to least confident. Most confident. Well, we saw what McKinney did. He made short work of that newcomer they brought in just for him. What's his name? Marotte, Brendan Marotte. I mean, it was a slaughter, right? He came out, he kneed the guy, and he just ended it so fast. It wasn't a competition. I mean, the guy would have to get so lucky to be able to push McKinney into the third round. I mean, to the second round. So, I mean, that's the key. You got to push him into the second round. There was no way McKinney went out there and seek and destroy and just absolutely destroy the guy. That was an easy one. It was quick work. Gutierrez, well, he does what Gutierrez does. He kept him at range, at kicking range, and kept kicking him and 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 outpointing Alatang for the 3 rounds. I think Alatang, I don't know if he took him down real quick, but once Gutierrez gets back up really quick, he just didn't get the range. Alatang did land a couple punches, nothing, nothing consistent, nothing too powerful, and Gutierrez just get out of the way. And as expected, it was a high probability pick, and he won. It was not very hard for him. So, definitely, Alatang is not in that league of the top 15, I think. So, moving on. Rodriguez versus Simon. And, it was a close fight. I was expecting it to be a close fight. I picked Rodriguez to win. There was phenomenal ground exchanges, like, ground fighting, positions, reversing positions, and everything else. And Rodriguez is the better grappler, and this is where he kind of took over. He did have the better grappling positions than Simon. Simon is definitely the taller guy. When they were striking, they were pretty even. I still think the more damaging punches might have been coming from Rodriguez. Anyways, Simon did land a few punches. It was very close, but definitely on the ground, you saw an advantage for Rodriguez, and it was a very close fight, and definitely Rodriguez did win it. He won probably all 3 rounds. Some of the judges had him on all 3 rounds. I thought he won all 3 rounds. It was close, but pretty consistent. Rodriguez is the second prospect that he's eliminated, so he's definitely somebody to watch out for. Unfortunately, he missed weight for this one as well, which was quite a bit overweight. He's got to definitely watch that. Wouldn't want to see him move up in weight class just because I don't find him very tall. This is definitely his weight class. He didn't look super shredded. He could definitely be at this weight, but he was overweight again. So moving on. So second high confidence pick, definitely one. Pereira. Well, Pereira did move up in weight class. He's always had a hard time making 170. He's a huge 170er, and he's definitely got the speed advantage. In most of the fights he had at 170, and he had a lot of grappling advantages for the in that weight class because he was so big. But you know what? And you saw him moving up to middleweight. He just totally destroyed Petrovsky in the first round, knocked him out, KO'd him. It wasn't even close. And you saw that the speed of Pereira carried over into the middleweight, and he's just plain simply just a lot faster than these guys. If he's fast enough for the better welterweights, he's definitely going to be faster than these middleweights. And when he landed a punch on Petrovsky, it looks Petrovsky didn't even have a time to react to it. It was dead on, really hard, really fast. Pereira is powerful. He's probably even more powerful now because now he can pack on the weight, and he's probably definitely full of energy. He doesn't have to do all that cutting. I'd like to see him in fights where he's going to go 3 rounds. I think he's going to look a lot better because you saw him fade in a lot of the 170-pound fights. You did see him fade a little bit. But he still had the same motion. He still had the same movement, good movement from the outside. And like I was saying, if he kept it on the outside and he kept his motion, Petrosky was going to have a hard time landing a takedown, but it didn't even get to that. They were still filling each other out on the feet when Pereira just landed a solid right and knocked him down, and then TKO'd him. That was one of our for sure fights. This was a big disappointment. Yanez, wow, because one of the parlays I was saying is cut it off here. If we cut it off here, we would have won. One of the parlays that I was saying, but I thought Yanez could pull this off. Watching the fight, I'm there like, man, did I just, did I make a huge mistake in my analysis of this guy and Martinez? I mean, obviously Martinez just kicked the crap out of his leg. It wasn't even close. Even though Yanez did land a few punches, they weren't nothing devastating where Martinez couldn't handle him, and there weren't more than one at a time. And Martinez definitely landed leg kicks, really hard leg kicks, beat the hell out of his legs. I mean, Yanez fought Davy Grant, and he got his leg beat up, and he withstood it, and he came back, and he, it was a close fight, it was a split decision, but he outboxed him, and he won that fight. And this is the kind of what I was expecting more to happen with the Martinez fight. But Martinez just landed such devastating kicks that it couldn't even get to that, which was really disappointed. I was disappointed that I just didn't see it coming. I didn't see Martinez being that dominant. And I also didn't see Yanez, after fighting a guy like Davy Grant, heavy leg kicker, and having his leg compromised, that he did not, number one, have better leg defense, better checking. Number two, be more proactive with limiting the distance. And number three, possibly practicing some more stance switches, knowing that if your leg is compromised, that you can switch stances. And that just didn't happen. And I think one of the things that was also a big problem for Yanez, and is he was fighting Martinez, who was a southpaw, and he had a hard time getting his range, just because the hands. It was easier for Martinez to do the hand fighting in that position and stopping the jab, and from stopping the jab, stopping his range finding for the right hand. So that didn't help either. Anyways, I was really disappointed. I was disappointed that I picked Yanez and how he lost in devastating fashion. If he had lost like a close decision, I'd say, well, it happens. But man, he just got killed. Sorry. I mean, I was choked. I was so pissed off. I wasn't mad about anything else, but I was really mad about that fight, especially because he was the first long parlay. He was at the cutoff point where I was there. Should I have it here? Should I have it here? And I thought, you know what, this guy could pull it off. Anyways, big disappointment. Wasn't happy with Yanez. It's going to be hard to see where he's going to be in the rankings, because it seems like he's below this level, and how far below we don't know, because he did take a big jump in competition to Font, and he obviously got knocked out, and now he's taken a step back in competition, and he lost again. So we don't know where his range is. It'll be interesting when you see his next fight. I think it'll be pretty good odds on him. I wouldn't fade him, but yeah, it'll be interesting. Moving on. I've got this group where I had all the women. The women that I was confident in winning were in this range, not in the first range, because usually, you know how the women are, and they're very inconsistent, or it's very close. It's always a decision. Lisboa won. It was, you know what? I expected Lisboa to be more dominant, and she did win 2-1. And the new girl who came on, what was her name? Ravina Oliveira Moraes. She made a pretty good account of herself. I mean, striking wise, Lisboa did have the advantage. It seems like as the rounds went on, Moraes did come on a little better. Lisboa did have somewhat of a grappling advantage, and I think, but I mean, there was a couple of times where she was taken on the ground, or in a scramble. She ended up on the ground. She had a hard time getting back up as the fight went on. So, in the third round, she did lose that round, but she did dominate the first 2 rounds. Striking, I don't know why she just didn't keep it on the feet most of the time, and just fully, instead of trying to take Moraes down, where Moraes had probably the best opportunity to win the fight. So Lisboa did win. Was confidence. I just questioning her game plan, so something to watch for next time. Maya, man, I thought, here's the thing. I thought Maya would have a lot faster hands, and in this fight, she wasn't faster than Araujo. She was about the same speed. I thought she'd have faster hands and the much cleaner strike. She had cleaner striking, but not faster hands, and especially in the first round, where it could have gone both ways. I found Maya really having a hard time getting a range. Araujo had a 4-inch reach advantage, and that was noticeable because I found Araujo hitting Maya, and many times in the first round, Maya throwing many punches that were just a little short. Just an inch short. Just 2 inches short. It was just a little bit short. And that possibly could have been the deciding factor, those extra couple punches that were short in her winning the first round. I thought the round could have gone both ways. They could have easily given it to Maya. I honestly think it was that close where it could have gone either way. And if Maya did take the round, she actually would have won this fight. So I'm not mad about the pick. I mean, it's one of those things with women. It goes down to the decision. She could have won that first round, and she could have won the fight, but they gave it to Araujo, unfortunately. So that didn't quite work out, but it was a really close fight. As expected. So Alexieva, oh man, Alexieva could beat this girl. Okay, she won the first round. She got more damage on the first round. She won the first round. She just needed to do that one more round, and it just seemed like after the first round, Alexieva seemed gassed. She did not seem like she could keep this up, and I guess we haven't seen her fight past the first round. So what I saw was Alexieva getting tired and getting sloppy, going for sloppy takedowns, going for just sloppy everything. Sloppy punches, throwing a punch, having her hands down, throwing a punch, having her hands down. She looked terrible. And I'm not saying she looked like terrible as in her striking. She looked terrible because she was gassed. So her gas tank looked terrible. She took the first round. Again, she just needed one more round. She just needed one more round, and we couldn't get that out of her. There was a couple of moments where it looked like she was going to do it, and in the first half of the fight, I think in the third round, she looked okay, and then all of a sudden it was done. She didn't have any more energy, and that was it. And she lost the close decision again, and that was kind of disappointing because she was the underdog, and I really thought she could pull this off. Yeah, but her gas tank, she's got to work on it, because if she can't fix her gas tank, then she's going to have a big problem. If she had the gas tank, she could have probably taken one more of those rounds away, especially in the scrambles. And she's also got to fix her get-up game. She uses a lot of muscle, a lot of explosiveness, but no technique. And as the fight went on, the explosiveness got less and less and less. And technique would have definitely helped. Nevertheless, moving on. Ducote, I said possibly parlay buster. You got to be careful with Yoder coming in. And again, it was a close fight. Strike-wise, they were kind of even. But the more significant strikes and more impactful strikes, as usual, like with Ducote, was the more impactful strikes. And I always said that Yoder, the problem with her is she's definitely doesn't have a lot of power, and she hits people, and there's not a lot of power. And the judges generally, she loses a lot of decisions because of that. And this one, again, she's going to lose. Ducote was a clear winner on this one. A lot more damage. That was pretty evident, but who knows? I was hoping that Yoder, well, not hoping, but I thought that there was a chance that she could have improved some parts in her game, and she could have maybe taken this and had to be careful with this, which is why I had it on the lower end, because she could have been a danger there. But Ducote did win. It was a clear winner. Good pick when we picked Ducote, right? So this was the big one, right? Elkins. How many people picked Elkins? Not a lot of people picked Elkins. A lot of people picked, what's his name? TJ Brown. And I said, man, I got no faith in TJ Brown. I just got no faith in him. And, after the first round, they just got no faith in him. I don't think he's got a great gas tank. I think he gets discouraged. I think once you've stopped him a few times, he just finds a way to lose. He makes bad decisions. And even in this fight, he made some bad decisions. And, you had Elkins on his back all the time trying to choke him out. Eventually choked him out. I mean, that was the best case scenario, and it happened. And there was a chance that it might not have happened, but I just, again, 39-year-old Elkins or a younger TJ Brown. I just that when TJ Brown gets to that higher level, he just doesn't look that good. He makes all the wrong decisions. And against the lower level guys, he looks like a world beater. Possibly retirement fight. Well, I was right and I was wrong. I thought it was possible retirement fight for Elkins where he's going to win and retire on the spot. Well, it didn't happen like that. There was a retirement fight, but TJ Brown lost and he retired. So I don't know, I kind of got part of it right. It was the other guy who retired. I was surprised that he retired because he's young, but I'm also not surprised when Elkins beats you and he's 39 years old, you should win. I have a feeling he's going to come back, but you never know. The UFC might have very well have cut him anyway. So moving on. Elkins was the pick. That one's canceled. Yusoff and Barboza. And here's the thing. I said I thought Barboza had a chance in the first couple rounds, in the first round, to knock this guy out. But it was exactly the opposite. Yusoff went at Barboza, and it was a smart game plan. He went at him, tried to remove the distance of the kicking range and put a lot of pressure on him, and he ended up catching Barboza, and he ended up almost knocking him out, and Barboza survives. It was a close fight, but he managed to survive, and after that, Barboza just took the fight over. It seemed like Yusoff, in the second round, was too tired. Barboza had a few more strikes, ended up taking that round. Third round, Barboza hurts Yusoff, right? I believe it was a third round. He hurts him with a wheel kick, takes that round, and then afterward just keeps walking down Yusoff and landing not way more strikes, but more significant strikes. A lot of strikes to the body. Really wore down Yusoff. The visible damage was on Barboza's face, but the body strikes were just devastating. And you can tell it took a lot out of Yusoff. And Barboza won it the opposite way of how I would think he could win it, right? And in this case, I had picked a 50-50 where I picked both of the fighters because I'm like, this could go either way. I'm not going to take a chance. And I had a parlay with Yusoff in it and a parlay with Barboza in it. So either way, I was going to be correct because of the unpredictability of these main events. And I'm there like, just going to pick both. So we were correct in that one. Overall, we did okay. This was a close decision. Could have gone either way. This one wasn't a close decision, but Alexieva just needed to pull off one more round. It was close in the fact that she only had one more round to win the fight. This wasn't even close. That one was the big disappointment for me. I was not happy with that pick. Definitely got to reevaluate leg kick TKOs are hard to get, even if you're good at it. So it was just a hard one to see coming. I'm kind of disappointed now, looking back at it, like, yeah, I could see it coming, But anyways, excuses aside. Nevertheless, overall, it was still a winning card as far as picks go. Realistically, it was these three that were the mistakes out of the 11. So it's not too bad. I don't like getting 3 wrong. I like maybe getting 0 wrong or 1 wrong and if I did get the 1 wrong, I want it in the lower sections, right? Nevertheless, don't forget to like if you like the video. What's that? Hit the thank you button. That's virtually the thank you button for me making this video. Hit the like. Share if you want to share it, the video. Subscribe if you want to get notifications for the next fight card. I'm going to try to get up the next prediction video tomorrow for Volkanovski and Makhachev. Try to get it out tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. I've got almost all of it picked. I've got just three fights that I got to really kind of look at, and that's about it. So hopefully tomorrow we'll get out the next video. Thank you very much for joining me, and we will see you soon.